Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. We're on your United show today, Devil's Advocate, and today I'm joined by Amy from our all-women's show, Three Devils in a Gooner, and also we are due to be joined by Mr. Bitz and Bobz as well. He'll be on later on the show as well. We're here to talk all things Manchester United. Obviously here to talk about the Burnley game coming up this weekend. We're also going to discuss last night's game against Granada. We're also going to talk about Paul Pogba's recent interview with Sky Sports and talking about Jose Mourinho and other topics on the show. So do smash the like in the video, do subscribe to the channel, do share the video out, and get into the comments and get involved in tonight's show as we have a good chat about tonight about all things Manchester United. And so, Amy, I suppose before Bitz gets in here, the first thing we'll actually talk about here tonight is obviously the first bit of news that came up regarding Manchester United this morning. It's obviously about 9 o'clock this morning, Sky Sports, released an interview of Paul Pogba, and Paul Pogba was responding to Jose Mourinho's comments about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, he made remarks about Mourinho trying to deflect the blame from the defeat from himself, and saying that he started talking about children because essentially he's trying to take the I suppose the limelight away for himself and kind of trying to deflect from his usual failings with Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. Obviously, Paul Pogba gave his seal of approval in the interview, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, basically saying that he's a good man manager and that he's doing a lot better with the squad than basically Jose Mourinho done. And what do you feel like when that interview happened, and kind of what were your initial thoughts?
I was actually so glad that Pogba came out and spoke up about it, to be honest, because it does take a lot of guts for a player to come out and speak about a manager like that. And to be honest with you, that's not nice. To be honest with you, Jose Mourinho threw a lot of players under the bus, so it's about time someone gave it back to him, to be honest with you. So I was like, to be honest, we all know how badly he treated players at United, like Luke Shaw, for example. He just switched on Paul Pogba literally like that. So he obviously, Jose Mourinho has a massive ego, and he just doesn't get on with players that also have a big ego. He just clashes with them. Like, look at him at Spurs at the minute with Dele Alli. He's doing the exact same thing to him. So
yeah,
I think Jose Mourinho is not only like a bad manager. Now I think he's finished, to be honest. But if you play for a football club, like with any job, absolutely any job, like you're in a job and you don't get on with the manager, you're not going to want to play for him. And it's the same with football. If you don't like the manager, you're not going to want to play under them. So, look, I just think Jose Mourinho is a bad egg, to be honest with you. And I think not a lot of players are going to want to play under him now, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the kind of modern day footballer, I think you have to look at players are a lot more softer than they were years ago. His style of man management doesn't work in today's game. I think you've seen it when he was at Real Madrid, you've seen it when he went back to Chelsea, he fell out with Hazard, fell out with other people at the club. At United, he fell out with numerous players. He fell out with Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Paul Pogba, and others. Jose Mourinho's time in the Premier League, as Rory said, is done. I think it is. And for me, it was justification to see Pogba come out today, because we all knew that Mourinho was the one in the wrong. Now, obviously, Pogba hasn't, some of his behaviour at the club hasn't shed himself in positive light either. But when you look at the overall way he's dealt with the club, especially his time at United, his treatment of Luke Shaw, his public beration of Luke Shaw, his public beration of Paul Pogba, calling Pogba a virus, calling Shaw overweight, though saying Rashford's not good enough to be a starting player for Manchester United. When you look at since Mourinho's left, Rashford has been probably our most consistent performer since Jose's left the club. So for him to come out and say all these things, and Pogba to come out today and basically say this dressing room prefers Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Jose Mourinho, and basically that Mourinho is a bad manager and a bad person. For him to say basically that's Jose, that's Mourinho, when they literally made referrals to his comment, that spoke volumes in terms of his feelings towards the man. And again, it'd be interesting to see what Jose Mourinho says now tonight after his game, in the post-match interview, post-match press conference with regards to Pogba's comments, because we know the media are going to try to stir this up. They're going to try to obviously create another story and another reaction. Obviously, say stuff to Ollie as well on Sunday. But yeah, look, I suppose when I woke up and I seen him thoughts like by Paul Pogba, it was relief because then he finally came out and spoke out about the situation. And look, at the end of the day, like again, Pogba 3, Mourinho 0 at this stage, because obviously he had a defeat on the weekend. Obviously, then again, Ollie burnt Mourinho in the post-match interview, and then Pogba came out of this interview this week, so it's literally 3-0 Pogba at this stage for me. And to be honest, Jose Mourinho is the real virus. Like Paul Pogba, he has his shortcomings, but Jose Mourinho.
I was just going to say Pogba's no angel either. To be honest, he's not.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like Paul Pogba's no angel either, but like at the same time, there was one real virus there, and that was Jose Mourinho. Like people tend to forget, Paul Pogba saved Jose Mourinho his job, arguably back in October 2018 when he was on the verge of getting sacked against Newcastle, and Paul Pogba played centre fucking back that day and was running the show from centre back. Do you remember that game when Pogba literally went centre half and he was literally running from centre half, bringing the ball forward? He scored a goal, got an assist. Like that day, Pogba kept Mourinho's job. Martial also kept Mourinho's job. 2 players who Mourinho alienated from his squad. So, look, again, it's great to see him comments come out today. And Victoria's Secrets is in the comments today and says, can you see Jose getting another big job if he gets sacked? He's a dinosaur in football management. Maybe the Portuguese job is the last big job for him. To be fair, I said this earlier on another channel earlier that I don't want to see Jose get the Portugal job because there's so much talent there and Bruno's there. And I don't want to see Bruno play left back when he goes on international duty. So for me, I think the Portuguese job may be too big for him. I think maybe possibly, I've always thought about this earlier on after the show, he won't get a big job in England again, but I could see him go to Ligue 1. I could see him going to France maybe. I could maybe see him going to Germany, maybe back to Italy to Inter Milan because he's a good relationship with them. But he won't get a big job in La Liga. He won't get a big job in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I think Bundesliga, is a shout. Mushroom Kes says here, he's in the comments, he says he still get a job in Italy. He is God at Inter. Yeah, exactly. Like he's a very good relationship with that club. So he very well could be.
He goes.
Yeah, like like at the end of the day, it's just one of them things. Rory says Mourinho can go to Celtic. No. Definitely not. I do not want to see Jose Mourinho. Yeah, Harry Kane just put Spurs 1-0 up. But yeah, look, I suppose like it's when you look at this situation, I think this is only going to go deeper now in the next couple of days because obviously Mourinho will come out after the game tonight. You will obviously see Ollie be questioned about it on the weekend, I'm sure. And
I think it's going to be stern for a couple of weeks now, to be honest. I think it's just going to be back and forth in interviews.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think it's going to be back and forth until eventually the season's over. I think that's the thing. And like Danielle says here in the comments, I totally agree. Like Jose Mourinho should retire. In my opinion, he's just ruined his legacy the way he's fallen. That's the thing. Like he's a fallen giant in the game, and I think when you look at it, the Tottenham job, he went there. He went there at the wrong time. Like if he went to Tottenham 2 seasons ago when they were peak Tottenham with Trippiers and all them good players, like in all in their prime, yes, that would have been a good job for him. He might have won a couple of trophies. But again, it's just a situation that he took a rebuild when he's not manager for a rebuild. And look, that's what's happening there. But I suppose enough about that relic, that dinosaur of English football, because that's literally what he is. He's absolutely finished. And anyone who watched the game on Sunday, the post-match show Sunday, you would have seen my handle. It was Jose's finished in capital letters. But yeah, that's just about it. But obviously, moving on the show, Amy. Last night we got through against Granada in Europa League. Again, last night there was a lot of negativity. I don't understand why within the fan base. We just won 2-0, professional performance. So obviously we're through to the semi-finals Europa League. That's our 5th semi-final under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It looks like it's now against Roma. Favourable draw either way. How are you feeling after the game? What are your thoughts on the game itself, and obviously drawing Roma in the semi-final?
Yeah, look, it probably wasn't the most enjoyable game to watch, but at the end of the day, like, we kind of sealed that semi-final place within the first half hour anyway, which is what Ollie had actually set out to do to begin with, to seal it in the first half. But look, at the end of the day, like, you can't really say anything negative about the match because we got the win. We got to the semi-final, so that's a massive plus for us. So Roma, I think, are going to be tough. It's a hard one, to be honest. I haven't watched much of Roma, but I know they can be quite defensive. And we know how we are with breaking teams down like this. So either way, it's not going to be easy.
I was worried, right? Initially, when the semi-final, obviously the quarter-final and semi-final draw was made, there a couple of weeks ago before obviously we played Granada. And I seen that we could potentially draw Ajax and Roma. At the time, right, I was saying, yeah, look, I'd rather draw Ajax than Roma because they're naive and they come out and attack and we pepper them. But I look at this Roma team and I watched them last night. They're not great. They're not like the Roma team of old when you come up against your De Rossi's and your Totti's and all these kind of juggernauts of European football. They're not that anymore. Obviously, they've Edin Dzeko, a 35-year-old up front, still obviously very good in the air. They have Chris Smalling. We'll get to him in a few moments on the show. Obviously, those reports came out today. They have Henrik Mkhitaryan, another former United player. But then you kind of look at the rest of the team. It's not great. Like, it's not a team that would hugely worry me. Now, if AC Milan are a lot better than what Roma are, and we put AC Milan out in the second leg, and in the second leg we were quite comfortable. We didn't really get threatened. So, like, it just depends on what happens. And Mushroom Kev here says in the comments that Roma are very inconsistent. Will defend well at home, so our home leg will be massive to get a lead. That's the thing. But even Kev, what I say to you is, Man United's away record.
Yeah,
I think I'd be more confident going to Rome than playing at Old Trafford, to be completely honest.
With you, I was in Rome October 2019, and I went to Roma and Gladbach in the Europa League, and it wasn't the most entertaining game to watch. Now, I won't lie. I know they've different players now and that as well, but they didn't attack too much, to be honest with you. That's all I remember from it, really. They were defending quite a lot, so yeah. We know United with these type of teams anyway. We struggle to break them down, so hopefully we'll be able to get the win over two legs.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it, I think we've enough individual quality. I think if we didn't have Pogba going into this game or Bruno Fernandes, I'd be a bit worried, or even Rashford. Like, if them three players weren't playing, or even 2 out of 3, I'd be a bit worried. But when you look at, like, Rashford, Bruno, Pogba, Cavani, Greenwood, when all of them are playing, I won't be worried. If you look at that game against Spurs are a team who sit back under Jose Mourinho and we tore them asunder. If we play all of our best players at the same time, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that we'll get through that semi-final. Now, obviously, the other side of the semi is obviously Arsenal against Villarreal. 2 tough teams. I think if we get to the final, whoever we get, we're in for a tough game. Obviously, Arteta has that little voodoo over Ollie, and like Villarreal under Unai Emery. Unai Emery is an absolute, specialist in winning the Europa League. So, like, I think when you look at it both ways, whoever, like, if we do progress to the final, there's a tough game. I think, like, look, this final part of the competition is going to be our toughest. And I just want to address this actually as well, because I said this on Owen's show earlier on. When you actually look at runs to Europa League final, and you look at kind of, people are comparing Jose to Ollie, right? I know I'm bringing this back to Mourinho, but I kind of have to, because people talk about he won the Europa League, he doesn't have a trophy over Ollie. So I'm just going to throw this out to you, Ollie outers, right? When Jose Mourinho won the Europa League, he had a very, 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 very favourable draw. Rostov, Anderlecht, Celta Vigo, Ajax. Right? There is, like, games in the Europa League knockout rounds. And we were lucky to get through the group as well. And we had a fucking easy group in 2017, right? Now, look at Ollie's run to a potential Europa League trophy. You've AC Milan, Real Sociedad, Granada, Roma, and potentially either Ajax or Villarreal. That's a lot tougher draw to what Jose Mourinho had. And Jose Mourinho barely got over the line in them games as well. Barely got over the line against Rostov. Barely got over the line against Celta Vigo. Literally, if Guidetti put that chance away, literally in injury time, in extra time, we were out. We were absolutely would have been gone. We won't be talking about Mourinho winning that trophy. You look at all them games, we there's no doubt in my mind if Ollie wins this Europa League and gets that second place, he's the best manager post Sir Alex Ferguson. I don't think we can even...
I actually don't understand how people don't see this. I just don't. There's obviously progression there, like, and I just don't understand how people can't see it. I feel like they just have this agenda against Ollie now, where he's just not going to be good enough. Because they're all expecting the same type of manager as Sir Alex Ferguson, but that's not going to happen. Like, there's always going to be stepping stones under every manager there is. Like, so.
And the thing about this is, I'm going to bring this to Bitz and Bobz as well. Welcome, Bitz and Bobz, to the show as always. Great to have you here. I'm just going to bring this to Bitz and Bobz as well with this, because when you look at the run that Ollie, if he wins the Europa League this season, he would have finished with much tougher opposition. If he finishes second place this season, let's say theoretically the way the games are going, 8 to 9 points off Manchester City, you'll have to say this would be the best singular season post Sir Alex Ferguson. So, like, I think you have to look at it and say, if the season goes the way we are, progress is there, but then next season we do have to go on and we do have to push ahead and we do have to push on and go for the league next year. I think that's why the expectation is when we talk about progression. That's what we want to see. Bobz, in terms of last night's game and in terms of the draw against Roma, obviously in the next round, kind of how are you feeling about that?
I think everyone would have probably preferred Ajax, just because we probably would have bullied them physically. We probably had more experience. I think with the Roma one, we need to be a bit careful, because Roma have got a lot of experience. Edin Dzeko loves scoring against us. He's annoying like that. They've got some Premier League experience, and also the whole team have experience of winning games. And listen, they're in the semi-finals just like us, so we just need to take precaution and just be clinical when the chances arises, because I think as a unit we're better, as a team we're better, but Roma have experience, and we shouldn't underestimate that.
Yeah, like as I pointed out, like, they do have experience. I think you look at the players like Dzeko, Mkhitaryan, Chris Smalling. Like, exactly. Players, all them players there will have something to prove. And I'm going to touch on Chris Smalling in a moment. Obviously, there was an unfortunate incident that happened yesterday. But yeah, like, I think, but if you look at it, and if we do manage to get over the line, I think that's important for next season, because next season we all expect to be challenging for the league title. I think that's where Ollie's going to be measured next year. He has to be 100%. Challenging for the league. 100%. Yeah, that's where, like, progress is there. And I think this is where I'm saying, like, this year, if you finish second, you win Europa League. Right, that's great. You don't hang your hat in it. Like, you don't say, right, that's progress, that's job done. That's not the case. You have to go on next year, push on for the league. Like, the league is your bread and butter. That shows proper progress. Over a 38-game season, that shows where your consistency is at. Like, it's grand winning an FA Cup. I bring Arsenal into this because Arsenal won the FA Cup last, papered over the cracks. Like, if they don't win the Europa League this year and they don't get Champions League football and they finish like 7th or 8th, like, where's the progression there for them in that same situation? Like, we need to win at least a trophy or two.
I think the thing is, there is progression, right? In the sense, however, we what we need right now, we need confirmation of that progress. So the trophy, last season we got to the semi-finals. This season, let's get to the final and let's win. Okay. However, we finished second. Okay. Improvement, yes. So on all fronts, you can say there's improvement. The FA Cup, yes. However, like you said, bread and butter is the league. And we need to remember, so Bobby Robson said it best. You can win trophies, you can win tournament, but being the best team in the land in your own league is the bread and butter, and you need to get that done. And what our problem is that we need intent. But these group of players need to win something together to create that hunger of winning. So whether it be well, it can only be the Europa League this year. So they have to win it. Don't want to put pressure on them. I don't care. Go and win it. You're the best team left in this tournament. Go win it. Win a trophy. Enjoy that aura. That like we have won a trophy together. Win it for Ollie, for goodness sake. Do you know what I'm saying? Win it for us, the one that's enduring this torment. Do you know? And then come summer, go back to pre-season. You have the mentality like, well, we've won that, which is a long, enduring road to the final. 38 games shouldn't be a fucking breeze. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on that one.
Yeah, and just kind of touching on, obviously, like, look, yes, last night news kind of broke and late in the night that Chris Smalling was unfortunately held at gunpoint, him and his family. And it's a very scary situation for any man to be at, especially with their wife and child. And just my thoughts go out to Chris Smalling and his family. I hope everything is okay. I think obviously we have that Manchester United link with him. That goes without saying. But obviously, look, if it's anyone, whether it's a footballer, it's affiliated or a club or anyone in life, you don't want to see him go through that. So thoughts 100%. Go out to him and his family. I hope they're okay. And look, just I hope he can hopefully move on from it soon. And look, it'd be great to see him back at Old Trafford in a couple of time. And it's pity fans aren't there, because we would have gave him a great reception to obviously to make him feel welcome. And look, all of the Manchester United fans, we've all given our messages to him on social media and stuff like that. So I hope he has got all the messages from the fans, and just I hope everything's okay soon. Guys, do you have anything to add to the Chris Smalling situation?
Amy, do you want to go first, or
you work away?
No, I just think that I think it's quite sad, isn't it? It's quite poor that these football players are being targeted, whether like they have millions or what millions. Like, we need to remember, like, he's got a wife and child. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's we can't say we emphasize because we don't know what it's like, but you can only imagine a football player, not even a football player, a human being, being held at gunpoint or whatever for prized possessions. Like, it just puts everything to perspective that life is short. And also, unfortunately, these things happen. And you can just... I hope he pumps up the security, because what people don't realize, as a man, when you have a wife or you have a partner or a child, now he's going to think, are they safe? Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, it could be, whether it's your sibling, your relative, your blood, whatever. Are these people safe when I leave the house now? And his partner might say, I don't want you to go. What can he do? Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's tough. So my thoughts and prayers go to them. I hope and pray that, they're strong characters and, they will get over it. And I mean, you just pray and thank God that they're still here to be able to tell the story,
Yeah, absolutely. And look, my thoughts definitely do go out. And look, again, I think I'd say he will take the measures. And the fact he's away from home as well, like the fact he's in Italy and not England, like that must be tough as well. Like, obviously adjusting to a new country, new culture, that goes without saying. And for that to happen then is obviously gonna affect him mentally. So look, I hope everything does work out for him. Amy, do you have any comments on the situation?
Yeah, look, obviously it's a horrible thing to happen to anybody, but look, we've seen it happen to, I know we don't really like him, but it's happened to Di Maria twice as well. These things, like Bitz said there, these things happen, unfortunately. It's life, but I understand completely. I do feel for him, because it could affect him mentally for the next while. Obviously a very scary thing to happen to anyone, and especially for his family, like with the young child and everything at home. So best wishes out to him, and hopefully they can move on from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, looking ahead, guys, this weekend, Burnley, this game last season, Old Trafford, was a traumatic game. Was the last game before we signed the Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ, Bruno Fernandes.
The last game I was at. It was awful.
It was the game before we signed the Messiah himself. Obviously, revenge is going to be on the minds of Manchester United fans, the Manchester United players, the manager, everybody. Bob's, come to you first. What are your thoughts coming into this game? Obviously, this is a team who's supposedly on the beach now, but we know the Sean Dyche side. You know, they'll be organised. Obviously, threats and set pieces. You know, obviously your man Barnes and I can't think of your Chris Wood, and obviously Charlie McNeil. Very good delivery from him as well. What's your thoughts coming into the game?
Just with what you're saying there, Amy, you were at the game. God help.
Yeah, it was awful.
I think we look, are Burnley on their holidays? Maybe so. However, they might be confident because they could be arriving thinking, well, we've beat them before, we can do it again, and that's quite worrying. But I think we get the job done. They will provide a few hurdles. Look, Burnley are direct. Set pieces are very crucial. Wood, Ashley Barnes are a proper handful. They're like the old Kevin Davies and flipping Kevin Nolan act. Do you know what I mean? The hard tussling guys, but we should beat them. But we also need to keep winning as well to create it's 11 points from fourth, I believe. However, we still need to consolidate second, because I'm going to say it, Man City could potentially keep losing another game. We need to I'm not saying we're going to catch them. No. What I'm saying is that if they lose, you can say Amy, but I'm just saying, we just need to keep winning games. We need to keep the winning momentum. So it's very key that we win that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at it as well, like you look at the way Burnley play, they're a very direct team, and we haven't beaten them. I think is in the last 3 at Old Trafford as well. So we need to get that hoodoo over as well. Like, think about this, and I've seen a lot of people say that we're going to struggle to break them down. We have a low block and stuff like that. Like, when you look at the United team that played against Burnley last season, our front four was Andreas Pereira, Juan Mata, Daniel James, and Martial. Our front four coming into Sunday is a potential front four of Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, and Edison Cavani. Look at the contrast in talent in last season's front four and this season's front four. I have no doubt that we can break them down. It's just from set pieces, I think, for me, are the biggest concern I would have with this game, because obviously zonal marking's been a proper problem for United this season. We've conceded a lot of goals from zonal marking. We've obviously, you see from crosses into the box, we've seen Lindelof, he's been very kind of susceptible to a mistake. I think Harry Maguire needs to be on his game this weekend, because again, with their direct approach, if Maguire is on his game, I think we can deal with him quite well. I think he's actually been flying under the radar recently in terms of being one of our better performers. I've criticised him a lot this season, but the last kind of 6-7 weeks, I have to hold my hands up and say Harry Maguire, where he's not been Harry Beckenbauer, but he's been very good. He's been very good these last couple of weeks. And again, he's never going to be worth 80 million, right? We all can agree with that. He's never going to surpass the big price tag that we paid for him. But I think he's a quite good centre back, and he's starting to show that now in the kind of latter stages of this season. So for me, I think we go out there. I think we'd be confident. I think we need to take the game to him pretty early. I think it was great the fact that we got Pogba off after 45 minutes the other night. Cavani coming off after 65 minutes. See Donny get a game as well. Maybe Donny will have a role to play Sunday. But for me, it's must win. You haven't beaten me, as Bob said, consolidate second place. I think that is great, because that shows progress from obviously last season. But let's put pressure on City. Like, if they draw the odd game or lose the odd game, let's put them under pressure. I know 21 is not coming, right? Let's be honest, we're probably not going to win the league. But let's put them under as much pressure as possible, because not only if they play shit in the league and they're under a bit of pressure, it'll put them under pressure in the other competitions that they're in too. Do you know what I mean? And it'll send them on a downward spiral in a bit of form. So let's try affect it in that way, But for me, most definitely, we go out and be confident, be Manchester United, and show ambition. I think that's the most important thing with this game on the weekend. Amy, you were at the game last season. You were telling me nearly every time we talk about this game, it brings back bad memories. How are you feeling coming into the weekend?
They're a bit like our bogey team now. I think a few clubs are a bit like our bogey team. These type of clubs that will sit back and defend we struggle to break them down. And it doesn't matter who's on the pitch. I know we had a completely different team out there last year, but we still struggle to break them down. So I think, like, I don't think it'll be a high scoring game, to be honest. I'd love another high scoring game, but I don't think it will be. And I think set pieces are going to be crucial as well. I would rather play I or Axel in centre half, to be honest, just for the height. Because Lindelof's not that good in the air. So yeah, I think we'll win it, but I don't think it'll be too easy, to be honest.
Yeah, like it's one of them things, isn't it? Like it's just like, it's not be easy. I don't think it will be easy, but I think we've enough quality to play him off the park. It's just the team selection Ollie goes with. For the life of me, against Burnley, you don't play McFred. Whatever you do, Ollie, just do not play McFred. Against Spurs, I can understand it's going to be a midfield battle, but don't start McFred Sunday. Play Pogba in the 2. Let's get on the ball. Let's take the game by the scruff of the neck. That's what we have to do here. Like, if we see McFred in the midfield on Sunday, that shows that there is no ambition. Do you know what I mean? You need to take this game by the scruff. Like, you need to be the team on the front foot. Like, if we see McFred on Sunday, I think I'll actually start crying. I don't know what I'll do. Like, I think I'll just give up.
The thing is,
honestly, God.
I think for certain games, McFred makes sense. Yeah. However, for a team that's just going to go long, not really play through midfield, there's no need for McFred. You know what I mean? Like they know they're going to play a 4-4-2. We know what they're going to do. They'll get it long, kick it into the channels. Then Burnley are not a team that play through the middle or try and do quick passing, break the lines. You know what I mean? We know what they're going to do. So he needs to pick a team that will reflect that, but also a team that will look to go and do stuff, because we always seem to worry about what the opposition can do. We never talk about what we can do to a team. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the game where this proves where Ollie's head is at, like in terms of team selection. As you said, don't worry about what they can do. Don't worry what we can do. You played, like, I reckon the midfield 2 this weekend is going to be McTominay and Pogba, because Fred's obviously after playing the last 2 or 3 games. McTominay was obviously out with suspension. He's had to have the rest. You need height in the midfield, so you go McTominay and Fred. Obviously, not McTominay and Fred. McTominay and Pogba in midfield for the height, and also obviously Pogba's creativity. McTominay can get forward as well when needs be. So, like, I think for me, you go McTominay and Pogba. In the midfield. Just with regards, obviously, to the team it's on the weekend, I'm going to come to starting 11 for the both of you. Who would you like to see in the starting 11 on Sunday?
Amy Henderson, defo.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Henderson.
Yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka is going to play, isn't he?
I think the back 5 is inevitable, to be honest. It'll be Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw.
Do you think he'll play a back 5?
Well, no, I mean, like, keeper as well.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I just realised what you said. I was like, back 5? Oh, no, yeah. I think it'll be Lindelof, Harry, and Shaw, won't it? And then
I think that's something you'll have to goal. Definitely the back 4 there. I really think we're going to see McTominay and Pogba in midfield. I get that feeling it's going to be them 2, because obviously they have the height, they have the physicality, and obviously Fred's been playing the last couple of games, so he should get a rest, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Fred could play this game. Just the way they play, it doesn't really make sense, because Burnley attack the first ball and the second ball, and they're very, 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 very. They pounce on the second ball, and Westwood and who's the gentleman that plays in with him? Is it not Barnes? Westwood and someone else in centre midfield that presses quite a lot. And for me, is like, maybe Fred, this is not the game for you. We do need physical presence, so to have 6 foot plus McTominay and Pogba. Yeah, Amy, do you agree on that?
Yeah.
Pogba and McTominay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think
then-
Pogba and McTominay definitely two sitters, definitely.
And then I think Bruno's going to play, isn't he? If he fancies it, you
Yeah,
know.
look,
Turn everyone.
that's a no-brainer. I think that's a no-brainer. I think Bruno on the 10, that's just a no-brainer. I think maybe this is what I'd go. I'd go Greenwood on the right, Rashford on the left if fit, Bruno obviously in the 10, and then you go Edison up front, especially their centre-backs, Tarkowski and Ben Mee. You're going to need someone to get up against them and actually fight with them. I think Edison is the man to do that. Obviously, you have Greenwood and Rashford in the wings to trouble their fullbacks and pin them back. And look, what they
I
have to
just
say about
don't
Bruno
think
Fernandes.
he's going to. I just don't think he's going to play Cavani for a third game in a row.
It's an
But the
interesting
fact
one.
he took Cavani off at 65 minutes last night, though.
Maybe,
He took
yeah.
Cavani off after 65 minutes. So, like, I'd agree with you if he played a full 90 last night. But he played 65 to 70 minutes last night. So, I think that's where Cavani may start because he didn't play the full 90 last night.
I'd like to see Juan Mata play because we're playing a low block. And
Yes, Bitz, I love it.
We need creativity, 100%, because we know what Burnley are going to do. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to really. It's a low block, isn't it? And we need creativity. You need people who are going to be able to break it down, get passes through, and we need a striker. Because look, if you put in Greenwood, God bless him, Tarkowski and Ben Mee will bully him. Let's just have it now. They're going to bully him. The physicality of their side, they'll just intimidate him. Listen, if he gets the ball at the feet and he can, be skillful as we know he can, perfect. But yeah, it's off the ball as well, guys. Like the odd push, the shove, standing on your toes. Greenwood's not built for that just yet,
Yeah, exactly. I think like Tarkowski and Mee are no nonsense defenders. Like, they take no prisoners. So I think for me, you have to look at it and say, I think Cavani has to get in there. Put Greenwood on the right, because we see him when Cavani and Greenwood linked up on the last weekend against Spurs. They were very good. Like Cavani was constantly communicating with Greenwood about his movement, about where to be. And again, I think you have to look at it and say his physicality, his know-how, his movement, like his movement against Spurs lads last week. My God. I haven't seen a striker like that move in the Manchester United shirt since Robin Van Persie.
Then before him, it was Ruud van Nistelrooy, wasn't it? So I mean, no, you're right. You're right. And I don't know. Do you know what? Like, I'm thinking about it now, and he's got to play, hasn't he? Like when you think about it, we don't have anyone else to play centre forward. Unless you are putting boots on team.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll have to pay $2,000 quarantine if I fly over to England anyway. So, nah. Do you know what I mean? Not less United are paying for that. I don't know, but but like looking at this anyway, I think Cavani is very important he plays, especially for these big games now coming up. Do you know what I mean? Like every game this season is a big game. The second is mathematically sorted out, right? So I think Cavani has to play every game in the league. You also have to consider as well, we have a week off this week coming up. Like we have a full week between games.
Yeah.
In that regard, Cavani has to start. If we had a game Thursday, let's say Europa League was on Thursday, the semi-final, I'd be like, okay, maybe start Greenwood up front and play Dan James on the right to rest Cavani. But in this situation, since we have a week between games, why not start him? Because he only played 70 minutes the other night. He's only been back from injury too. So at the end of the day, he's still building up match fitness in that regard. So like for me, start him, kill the game off. Try kill the game off in the first half or even early second half if you can. Do you know? And then if you want to give him a rest for next week, take him off. Bring on Dan James. Maybe bring on Donny van de Beek and play Bruno in the false 9. Do you know what I mean? Maybe try something like that, for winning the game. Do you know? If the game is there, if it's one for us, then by all means, then maybe try something different then. Because that's something I'd maybe like to see in the future is maybe Bruno in the false 9 role. I think he'd be sensational there. But that's another story for another day. But definitely, if Cavani can get a goal, I'd be happy to keep his form up because, again, he's an experienced head. Him in the side, I think, really benefits Mason Greenwood. I think this season we've seen a massive, even though his goal scoring tally has been there, but his overall game, his overall movement, I think has come on leaps and bounds since Cavani has come to the football club. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. Obviously he had some personal issues going on at the start of the season. He wasn't playing, but I've noticed over the last few weeks he has really kicked on a bit and he's looking really hungry. So I'd say we're going to see a lot more goals from him for the rest of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, and Bobz, I know you're a Scottish man. I probably no invested interest in England for the Euros and this summer. I know you're playing them, but if Mason Greenwood can keep up this form between now and the end of the season, could he be a wild card for Gareth Southgate come the summer?
No, because Southgate won't pick him. Do you know why he won't pick him? Because he's not a manager that loves to play with creativity. So it's sad. I don't think he takes the Greenwood, if I'm honest. You know, Jesse Lingard, bit of form, he's in the squad, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Those players before Jesse hit form that have been playing well. Maybe it's because he dances to a song that Southgate likes. I don't know, but no, I generally I don't want to sound negative, but I don't think it does. I think he could go and score 8 goals from now to the end of the season. He still doesn't go. He should go if it's some talent and what you could do, but I don't think he goes personally because you look at the Grealish. Sorry to go a bit left here. Look at Jack Grealish, probably the best English creative player in the league, right? He had 2 games to force himself into Southgate's plan. Southgate didn't want to play him. Do you know what I mean? We also saw the interview. How did Jack Grealish play? Well, I thought Mason Mount had a great game. Do you know what I mean? Like he didn't want to play him. So when you see a player like Greenwood, you know what I mean? He might as well look for a different country to play for because under Southgate, he's not going to get picked. And I want to be
Irish
like,
in him by any chance?
Pardon? Well, you never know. You never know. Listen, Rory, you're whatever you're drinking, Rory, pass it over here. Listen, if that happens,
McTominay will lead you to the last 16.
Listen, do you know the funny thing is? I think I won't speak for all of Scotland, but I know Scotland would love it if Scotland beat England and England don't qualify for the next round. Literally, I think Scotland would be happy with
Imagine
that.
the party in Ireland if that happens.
Oh.
Hopefully the pubs are open by the Euros are on. I'll be out in the beer garden somewhere with my Scottish jersey with Max Sauce number 39 on the back of it, and I'll be partying on. I won't wear a kilt because Irish weather, you know yourself, is very temperamental and it could get very cold very quickly. So, I'll wear the Scottish jersey with Max Sauce number 39 on the back, and I'll be supporting Scotland.
I'll be half Scottish, half Portuguese for the summer.
I love it.
Wait to tell you this, guys. With Portugal, right? I backed Portugal at 12-1 a few weeks ago for the Euros. I seen their squad. William, who's on this channel, gave me the tip. He's Portugal at 12-1 on Paddy Power, right? So I was like, right, I'm gonna throw 20 quid on him. Right, so that's grand. Now they're gone down to 15-2. I'm fucking delighted. I backed them at 12-1 because if they win it, I'd be like, thanks, William, for the tip, but suckers only got me 15-2. Like, do you know what I mean? It'd be a great win for me if that manages to happen. But looking ahead, obviously, and just kind of looking away from the Euros, and obviously looking ahead to Sunday. Obviously, big game, second place. We're at my favorite part of the show now, which is score predictions. I always love this because we always get wild score predictions in the comments. We get wild score predictions on the panel. This week, let's see how it goes down. So in the comments, get your score predictions in for this Sunday's game against Burnley at Old Trafford. Are we getting revenge this weekend? I'm just going to come to Mushroom Kev's comment first before we get the score predictions. Amy McNandez, brackets Ni Mata. For fuck's sake.
Listen, I actually might start calling her that.
We'll have to hashtag it. We'll have to hashtag that on Twitter later on. We'll have to get that trending. On Twitter later on. Reese's score prediction, he says 3-0 United. Paul Pogba hat-trick. Amy, going to come to you first. Your prediction, how do you think it's going down on Sunday?
I don't see us scoring too many goals, to be honest. I can see us probably conceding from a set piece. So I'm going 2-1 United. Fernandez with a penalty for the winner.
Oh, that'll be painful for some people if that happens. That'll be absolutely painful. Rory's in the comments as well. He says 3-1 United, Rashford 2, and Mata with a goal. That is adventurous. He mightn't even get on the football pitch. But yeah, that's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. Mushroom Kev says 1-0, scrappy as fuck. Rach says she wants blood, 4-0 Man United. And so yeah, we've a lot of different score lines here in the comments here today. Great contributions, guys. So Bobz, I'm going to come to yourself. How do you feel it's going down on Sunday?
I feel like I can relate to everyone's scoreline here. The Pogba one. Listen, I might put £1 on a Pogba hat trick, but not him. I think I do want revenge because what they done to us. I mean, it put everyone in it was disarray, wasn't it? Everyone was just in dismay. Like you didn't even want to get out of bed. You didn't want to look at anything football. I think we are going to win 3-1. We will concede a stupid goal. And I think we probably will get a penalty because they're quite physical. And I think there will be a bit too much. And Cavani will have great movement and they'll just tackle him in the box. And then, Bruno will probably get a goal, won't he, with a penalty? Yeah, I think 3-1. 3-1, yeah.
Danielle says 2-1 United as well. Reese wants me to read that eulogy out loud. That is very long-winded, Reese. That's not happening. I'm gonna go 3-1 United. Same feeling as Amy. I think we're going to concede from the set piece. I think zonal marking's been a problem this season. I think we're actually going to go 1-0 down Sunday, believe it or not. But then that's when the spark hits. We'll come back. I think we win 3-1. Paul Pogba brace. And again, El Matador, Edison Cavani getting the third. But I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester United. But before we wrap up, I want to go to Bitz and Bobz on the first topic tonight because he missed out on it. And I want his thoughts on this situation. Paul Pogba came out in the media today in Bitz and Bobz. A little interview with Sky Sports. And he had a few choice words with Jose Mourinho. Yeah, I'm going to give you the floor. What were your thoughts on the interview?
I tweeted this, and Keane, we're in a group chat, so we've seen people's thoughts on it. My thought is this year, one, I tweeted that. I said, look, everyone says, oh, we don't want the players to be robots. When they talk, how the football interview goes. Well played today. Yeah, it was great. The team got 3 points. So we want the players to express themselves, to be human. Now, this guy, let's not forget who it is, yeah? Paul Pogba, who's been called all sorts of names. He's been touted by Gary Neville, Souness, Carragher, all of the above have been saying he's got to leave, he's this and he's that, yeah? Now, he comes out and actually has his say on a situation. And if you really listen to what he says, he doesn't call Mourinho a bad manager. He just says, we had a great relationship, we didn't, but we know what he's like, He's saying factual stuff. He's not making things up. And but other players do it, we salute them. That was very brave. More players should be like that. But when he's done it, there's an uproar. And I'm glad he done it personally. And I tweeted this: are you angry that he spoke out, or are you angry because you don't like him? So for me, man, I'm glad he spoke out. But look, listen, how many players come out and have good things to say about Jose Mourinho? And then put this on the flip. How many players come out and speak lovely things about Paul Pogba?
Yeah, like any player who plays with Paul Pogba, any player who's been in the dressing room with Paul Pogba has nothing but good things to say about him.
He's a bit shy. Yeah.
But when you actually look at it, every player who's good.
That's Bobby Jr.
Bobby Jr., do you like Jose Mourinho?
I'll answer for him, no.
But obviously, look, any player that's played with Paul Pogba always has like great things to say about him. Like Bruno Fernandes, like when he moved to Manchester, Paul Pogba helped him find his house. He was very warm to him. Helped him go house hunting in Manchester, helped him feel settled. Obviously, like all the other players in the dressing room say he gets a good vibe into the dressing room. He's a leader. Obviously, look at the way he is in the France squad as well. Like, he is a leader. Any player who plays with him speaks highly of him. So, like, again,
Igalo came out just there. Did you see it, Keane? 2 days ago, Igalo was interviewed and he was saying that, Paul Pogba helped me so much. He's probably the best. Do you know what I mean? So, like, it's because I personally think it's because he's black and because he's not one of their own. He's not from Manchester. Yeah. He's not English. He has what's the word I'm looking for? He has character, charisma. He does things that they don't like, and they just can't relate to him. Where there's people like us that see him and think, oh, he's brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant to see, blah, 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 and stuff. We never hear about him drinking or drink driving or beating up policemen or, going on a binge or anything. We never hear anything like that. We hear haircuts, dancing.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But here's the thing, and it goes back to the way players are labelled in the media. I think the English media are absolutely brutal for him. Like, me and Shane had a discussion about this a couple of weeks ago. And, like, what they do is they label young black players to have an attitude. They've done it to Raheem Sterling. They've done it to Rashford when he was doing all the stuff helping the kids in UK. They're doing it to Paul Pogba. They're doing it to Jesse Lingard as well. Like, there's this little agenda this English media have against young black players. It's disgusting. It's despicable. Yep. And it's never going to end. English media are absolute dinosaurs. And they, at the end of the day, you can take the knee, you can do all of that stuff, but then practice what you preach. That's all I'd say. Like, if they're preaching, that's the thing. They need to practice what they preach. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter. But obviously, we've given our score predictions. We've given all our thoughts on Jose Mourinho tonight. We've given our thoughts on Burnley. And so, I'm going to come to one last final little topic here. It's going to be just for everyone here. So it's going to be people in the comments, people within the panel here. One last final thing tonight. Your favorite memory of Manchester United. Not like this can be Premier League, Champions League, Europa League. Your favorite ever game that you either been to or watched on television. I'm going to give it to Amy first. What's your favorite ever Manchester United game?
Ooh.
That's hard, man. Obviously, the only one that sticks out with me is because I was young and it's the only game I can remember fully from when I was young, and that's obviously the Champions League final. Like, I was only 11, I think, at the time. I think I was only 11. 2008. I wouldn't have remembered 99. I was only 2, like. So definitely 2008.
Yeah, Mushroom Cows in the comments, he says the treble winner, and Solskjaer has won it. And Danielle says Champions League 2008, too young from 1999. Reese says easy, David Beckham's final goal for Manchester United in 2003. Free kick on the final day when we won the league. My hero left a 6-time Premier League champion. That's not a bad show at all. Bobz, you've had a chance to hear a couple of games and there yourself from the comments and from Amy. What is your favourite ever Manchester United game? If you have a few, even.
There's a few. Like, it's a good category, great question, and I've been fortunate. I watched both Champions League wins, and I've also watched both Champions League losses. The 99 one was ecstatic. I remember my neighborhood had a street party, and I was just like, wow. And I remember, the one Amy said, like, that one is. Okay, do you know what? I won't copy Amy. I'll say a different game. I think, yeah. Oh my goodness, this is such a tough question. There's so many games that you could be like, oh my god. Do you know what? One of my favorite games that I went to was when we beat West Ham. I think it was 3 or 4-1 at Old Trafford. It was the season we won the League Cup with Jose Mourinho. Zlatan was there.
Oh, we're
And
4-0
Zlatan
FC.
scored, yeah. And Zlatan done the Cantona celebration at the Trafford. And it was one of the best games I've been because it was one of the few times that I watched him live. And we were just unreal that day. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. And that was probably one of the best games that Man United-wise that I've been to. But as in watching the TV, yeah, I can't beat that with. I have to agree with Amy because that Champions League final, the way we won it on penalties, I'll never forget, guys. I remember Anderson was walking up. I was like, "What are you doing? He's gonna miss! Like what?"
Equivalent of Fred, like walking up now, like.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And like, don't get me wrong, like Anderson was great for us. He had that 1 or 2 years, and then when he done his injury, he was done. But like, I was screaming, thinking, "No!" I was hitting the kitchen like, "We've lost it because of this idiot!" And then he scored. I was like, "Yeah, go on, man!" And then, I'll be honest with you, I was Ronaldo. I won't say what I said about Ronaldo, but I tell you that
killed me. That killed me.
That killed me too, yeah.
Because I couldn't be angry. I was like, he's missed. No. And
I was just going to say that. John Terry slipping made it.
and then obviously, literally, do you know when you watch TV and it's PG and all you hear is beep, 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 because when John Terry missed that, I called him everything. It was started off with "you racist." That's what you get. Oh, like you can imagine. And then Anelka, when obviously Commander Sarr saved it, it was an ecstasy, man. Because I was like, in 1999, I was like 8 years old, and I still remember that. But that game I was like fully into football, going to Man United, going to Old Trafford, see games, and like oh man, it was just the best. And seeing Fergie jumping up and down in the rain and wiping his glasses because of the steam and stuff. And then, oh yeah, man, it was. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. Just, oh man. And now we're in the Europa League, guys.
Like, yeah. If we win the Europa League under Ollie, lads, I swear to God. Right, the thing about this, if United get to the Europa League final, we're doing a live watch along. There'll be a heap of us. I'll definitely have to sort out my internet though, because for a watch long, I need to sort out my internet because I have to go upstairs to watch the game in my room. So I'll have to sort out my broadband that day. I'll probably have to hook it up into my room. But if we beat Banter FC in the final, that could nearly trump everything because that would just be glorious. But
the sad thing
about
that the final is in Poland, and obviously you can't have fans, but like it's such an easy place to get to, isn't it? It's not flipping. Not Russia, Saudi Arabia or something. But yeah, sorry, Keane. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it now, man. Oh,
yeah, it's crazy. Like, imagine it's at least not like in Baku, like a couple of years ago when Arsenal had to play Chelsea there. Like, the fans were traveling for like 16, 17 hours to get there. It was crazy. But I think my favorite, obviously, Manchester United game will be the 2008 Champions League final. And I was sitting in the house full of Liverpool fans watching that game, and when Ronaldo missed that penalty, they all jumped all over me, hounded me, giving me a load of shit. So that was my favorite ever, favorite ever game. But the other one, obviously, just to throw it out there, is the Arsenal 8-2. I have a couple of friends who are Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
That was just glorious. And I had to go into school on the Monday, and I remember I went over to my two Arsenal fans. It's actually a couple of them actually are part of my best mates. And I said to them, I'd hate to be you today. And I walked away, and that was it. But yeah, that was good banter. But that literally wraps up the show here tonight, guys. Thanks very much to everyone in the comments today. Thanks so much to everyone for watching. Do smash a like in the video. Do subscribe to the channel. We'll be back Sunday before the game, and we will be going live at 3 p.m. With a pre-match show, just to obviously chat about the game, chat about the lineup, and just give our overall thoughts in the game. So do tune in for that. London Lowdown is also back tomorrow at 1 p.m. where Sean and Jack we'll be looking ahead to the big FA Cup semi-final between Manchester City and Chelsea. And for once in my life, I'll be shouting, come on, Thomas Tuchel, in my whole entire life. I'm an honorary Chelsea fan for that game tomorrow, because treble, quadruple, we don't want to see it. So come on, Chelsea, tomorrow. But other than that, guys, Joe, thanks very much for the support here. Amy, where can our viewers catch you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, and it's U18, and on She Devils United.
Absolutely, do check out Amy on Twitter. Also check her out on TikTok as well. She's recently after putting up a couple of TikTok videos as well. She's after going a bit viral over there with the Liverpool fans, so do check that out over there. And so what, you know where it is, Mr. Bitz and Bobz. Where can lads catch you?
Everyone, you can check me out on Bitz and Bobz on YouTube. I do a few podcasts and stuff like that. But please make sure that you subscribe to Devil's Advocate. Subscribe and support Keane's channel, man. Like, we see the content, we see the people he's bringing on, so let's support him, man. The one thing that I've learned about in YouTube is that when you do this thing, you make friends, and like, I'm quite happy that I can call Keane friend, and obviously Amy too. And I'm just very happy for him, and like, please support him. Do what you can, guys. Oh my goodness, Sigurdsson has just scored an absolute peach. But yeah, please support. I know Tottenham. But yeah, please support Keane. And yeah, listen, if you want to change the scenery, please subscribe to Bitz and Bobz. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, do show Bitz and Bobz great support. I've been over on his channel, great content over there, gets great guests on, especially his one-to-one podcast interviews. They're very good, so do check that out. And look, as always, you can catch me on Twitter at Keane_Franey. If you do want to see me banter rival fans now and again, I'm not in Twitter jail yet, like Donald Trump was, so that's always a silver lining to every cloud. So look, thanks very much, everyone, for watching. You'll see us again Sunday on Devil's Advocate. Check out the London Lowdown tomorrow, and we'll see you there.